most respected chairman of this esteemed institution, respected trustee, Dr. M.P. Vijaykumar, dean, principal, faculty members, my very dear freshers, senior students, and parents. At the outset, my very sincere congratulations to all the freshers who have just joined this institution, starting a new leaf in your lives. I would want once again to say congratulations to all of you. And would I be wrong in expecting something in return? When I say congratulations, what would I expect from you? Can I have that word? It is not that, as Dr. M.P. Vijaykumar was saying here, it's not that I want a reciprocation from you. It is not that I want an acknowledgement, but I would want you to speak out. I would want you to get into that habit of greeting one another. I'm very happy the chairman started with that. Say a good morning to your roommate every morning. Say a good morning to your classmate or colleague as you meet them in the mess or elsewhere. You know, it's such a wonderful thing to start the day with a good greeting and a smile. You're all engineers. You may tell me that you're just joined the engineering college, but to me, you're already a full-fledged engineer. You're in the path to it. One day or the other, when I meet you next, you would be qualified with your degrees. Dr. Vijaykumar again was reiterating the importance of various disciplines of engineering. But I come from a slightly different area. I'm a professional doctor, and I know for sure the importance of a greeting in the morning and a smile to follow. I do not know if any of you have heard the term endorphin. There are certain chemicals in the body. One such group of chemicals is what are called the endorphins. These endorphins are secreted in the brain and, of course, in other parts of the body too. When you smile, endorphins secrete more. And when you say a good thing, a pleasant word when you hear, more endorphins are secreted. And what is the effect of these endorphins? They stimulate the brain. They make your brain work more. They make you happy. They make you joyous. One small good morning in the morning, one small smile will make the whole day joyous, happy, and fruitful. There was so much told about the brain being, only 2% or 3% or 18% active. True. All of us have such huge brains. But not the entire brain is put into effect all the time. In fact, they were quoting information about Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is supposed to have used about 10 to 18% of his brain at different spells, not at the same point of time. But shall I tell you one more information? Don't think Albert Einstein's brain was the super brain or was the topmost brain. You know why I say that? On analysis, on study, it was found that Einstein's brain did not have certain areas which you and me normally have. There is an area called operculum in the brain. All of us, seemingly, I do not know, all of us are supposed to have opercula. But then Einstein's brain did not have this operculum. In spite of that fact, he is still considered a super brain, not because he had something extra in the brain, but because he stimulated the brain to the maximum effect. And one way of stimulating is to have interaction, is to have good greetings, good words, and a large smile. Every time you smile, your brain feels happy about it. Automatically, your brain starts feeling happy, and the moment your brain is happy, it starts functioning better. So from now on, will you smile more? Will you exchange good words of greetings, good words of appreciation? Say a thank you to somebody who gives you a small little help. You get into a lift. The lift operator is there. When you get out of the lift, just say a thanks to him. You know, you're going somewhere, somebody is standing. Maybe he would have just, gone to the sides and given you way. Just say a thanks. A thanks to somebody who gives you a book in the library. He picks out the book and gives it to you. Say a thanks. See how your world transforms. Your brain will work more and more and more. And then you'll find probably one day we'll all be quoting saying, so-and-so's brain was much better than the brain of Albert Einstein, and it worked 28% or 38%. I'm sure Dr. M.P. Vijaykumar would be quoting to the subsequent generations of students about that super brain in you. This is the first time I'm coming to this institution. In fact, this is the first time I come to this place, Satyamangalam. I am a resident of Chennai, though I've come till Coimbatore, Pollachi, which are all very familiar to me. This is the first time I'm coming into the Bannari Institute of Technology, and shall I be very frank? This is not to kind of, say good words, not just to please somebody, but then to be very frank, the moment I came into this campus and just went round a few areas, saw the lawns, saw the place where your library is situated. If only I'm given a chance again, I would like to join as a student and pursue some kind of a course here. I'm sure I would not be eligible for that, at least on grounds of age. But then why I say this is because the kind of ambience and the kind of faculty, the kind of facilities that have attracted me this morning. Even for a cursory glance, if the facilities, if the infrastructure here could attract somebody who had been in the sphere of education for about 30 years, I'm sure there is so much for you to imbibe, to utilize, and grow up. So once again, I take this opportunity to wish you all for choosing this institution and to pursue your well-deserved career. Friends, I'm not here to say any words of advice. I don't think you require any advice, but then I thought I'll share a few stray thoughts that come into my mind this morning. Probably most of you are just about 17 plus or 18 plus, isn't it? What is your average age? You must be 17 years of age or 18 years of age maximum. Yes? Now at this age, many of us tend to think that we should remain in our small shell of activity. I do understand many of you would have left your homes, you're coming here, staying in a residential campus, you might become a little homesick. All that is there, but those are all small things that any one of us can overcome. There would have been many, many people who would have come out of the homes, your own seniors. They would have been staying here for 2 years, 3 years, so you can just look at them and you can understand how 3 years later, 3 years hence or 4 years hence, you would be. But then, what I would want you to do is, number one, please take up whatever responsibility that is given to you. Never, never say, I do not know. We would not know many things at the first instance. Did you know how to sing or dance or whatever you do now when you were a child of 2 or 3? Did you know the meaning of the word engineering when you started walking for the first time? You would not have, isn't it? So there is always a first time. You can learn. Learning and responsibility. Please do not shirk responsibility if it is given to you. I'll tell you, for example, there are your own colleagues, your own seniors who are so well conducting this meeting, this induction ceremony, investiture ceremony. When you are given such opportunities, what I find with several students is, I do not know how to speak. No, I do not know how to say that in a mic. No, never, never say that. Never shirk your responsibility. If you are given a job, learn it and do it. Maybe the first time you cannot do it to perfection. You will learn better the second time. But at some point of time, you will realize that that responsibility has made you a larger person, a bigger person. Accept responsibilities. One other stray thought that I would want to tell you today, since this institution is a skill-based institution, I was so happy to note that for the first 1 month or so, you would be, taking out all the equipments, making them into parts, and then reassembling or realigning. I remember those days people used to say, if somebody is good at some work, they'll say, Akku vera aani vera pichiduma. That Akku vera aani vera pikkiradu is the certificate, the best certificate that somebody can get. I'm so happy that you're going to do that here. Associated with that, I would want to tell you something. Very often, students in a professional institution try to find out some shortcut method for keeping things, retaining things in the brain. I have been teaching medical students for the last 35 years. So you can understand what my experience would be. Very many times when I visit institutions, especially closer to exams, the question that many students ask me, or sometimes even parents make a phone call and ask is, it's so close to the exams and it's so different, so difficult to remember things. As a doctor, would you prescribe some medicine for improvement of memory? And in the world of advertisement, you will find lots of these so-called memory pills. You want to boost your memory, do this, do that. Now please remember, no memory pill, no drug on earth can increase your memory. There is only one way where you can make your memory good, where you can make your brain good. That is only one thing, as rightly pointed out by both chairman and the trustee, repeated practice. Repeated practice is the only way that can increase your memory, increase your brain power, stimulate you. I'll ask you a question. If this morning by around 7 o'clock, if you had heard your most favorite movie song, 7 o'clock in the morning, you hear your favorite movie song, let it be from whomsoever's movie, let it be Vijay or let it be Tale or let it be anybody, your favorite movie song. What will happen at 12 o'clock in the noon? Tell me, what would you do? Come on, bold enough to speak out. You hear your favorite movie song at 7 in the morning. 12 noon, what would you be doing? Singing that? Humming at least? Yes? 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Still? 8 in the night? Dinner time? Still singing that, still humming that, isn't it? By chance your mother or someone asks you, "Enna kaarthalend ide paattu paadiittirukka?" What will you say? Morning I heard, and somehow it has got stuck. I'm repeatedly. You know why it gets stuck there? It is not getting stuck because it wants to get stuck. It is getting stuck because you're repeatedly humming and slowly it's going and getting stuck. That's the only way. Repeated practice, repeated commitment to the brain. You will find out, you will be able to remember something if you had been thinking about it again and again. And that is what Dr. Vijay Kumar suggested when he said there is a definite change in the mode of approach that you had until this time, this entry of yours into this college. Until now, you would have just learned questions and answers. You would have known where the answers are for a particular question. You would have known which page had the answer. If I ask you now, you would even quote page number 45, the top paragraph had this word. Your photographic memory. That photographic memory is because you had been repeatedly looking at that, day in and day out. But then when you come here, there is a definite changeover in your approach. There has to be a changeover, and you would no longer be going through that process. That process is for a child. Fine, you've been a child, leave it at that. You would have to now become a graduate. And for this changeover, the most important that is required is commitment and repetition. Practice. Commitment and repetition put together will go into one other word, practice. Your skill will develop on your practice. You've heard that saying, old adage, isn't it? Practice makes a man perfect. So you would have to be repeatedly doing it, and I'm very happy that this institution gives you facilities to do things even in the late hours of the day or even in the wee hours of the morning. They said 24/7, you could come and read, you could do whatever you want. So utilize this opportunity. There were many things told about your studies, and there was also a mention about what is called discipline. I'm so happy that all this is being told right on the day of induction. And a word about that cell phone stuff. Do not use the cell phone within the academic hours. More than telling the students, my request would be to the parents. Please do not make phone calls to your children when you know they'll be in the academic area. Do not call at 3:30 in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and say, I thought the classes would be over, so I wanted to talk to my child. Get to know their timetable, probably give 1 hour margin time for them to get back from their classes, get back from their practical schedule, and then make the phone call. The phone call problem perpetuates only when the parents and the relatives at home keep calling more and more. I have seen children tell me, why did you use the phone call at this time? Why did you use your phone at all at this time? My mother had been calling since morning and she'll get worried if I don't call her back or if I don't respond, so I was trying to do that during the class. So my request will be to the parents and the seniors. Please understand your children are in safe hands and your children are in hands which want them to blossom more and more. So probably it is a kind of a situation wherein you find there is another home here, a second home here. The care that you would give to your child in your home, the same kind of care will be given in an educational institution, and I'm sure here are people who will take care of your children. I thought as a responsible individual of the society, I have this obligation to remind the parents of what they should do and they should not do. My dear freshers, there are a few other things which I would want to remind you. One such thing is, please remember that there are so many people behind your achievement today. Whom do you think is mostly responsible for your achievement? Getting into this institution, BIT, is an achievement. Yes, you agree with me? Getting into this institution is an achievement or not? It is an achievement, fine. Whom do you think is responsible for this achievement of yours? Is the question a little paradoxical? I'm sure your answer there, I know the reason for this silence. You're all kind of, bubbling with a question. Who is responsible for my achievement? I'm responsible for my achievement. And that's why you're hesitant to answer. Is that right? You think apart from you, from your own self, there are also others who are responsible for your achievement? Do you think or not? Apart from yourself, how many of you think there are also others who have contributed to your achievement? Good. All the girls think that somebody else is also responsible. The boys don't think so. Slowly, the boys putting up their hands. No, the first rows don't think that you're only responsible for your achievement. They're a little hesitant putting up the hand. No, you don't have to put up your hand. Thank you very much. I'm sure all of us will understand it is not only one person, but there are so many others who contribute to the achievement or success of an individual. You studied well, you're into a very good institution, fine. That's one factor. But how much of sacrifices your parents would have made? Yes? When you woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, didn't your mother get up along with you or even before you? She wanted to give you tea. Yes? She sat beside you. Probably some of the mothers didn't even understand what you were studying. They wouldn't have known anything that you were studying. They wouldn't have known anything in mathematics, anything in physics. But then they were sitting beside you, fondly looking at you, maybe with sleepy eyes, trying to ward off that sleep, looking at you, just thinking, visualizing that you are into an engineering college in the next few months. Did that happen? Yes or no? The faculty members are nodding their heads. What is this paradox? They are remembering their mothers after 30 years or 20 years, and you are not remembering now. You agree with me? How much of sacrifice your fathers would have made? How much of sacrifice your brothers, your sisters? So please remember, you have a responsibility, a moral obligation of keeping up their honor. So in this institution, when you behave, or when you get out after 4 years with your graduation, you should be in a position to keep up the honor of the institution, keep up the honor of the faculty members, keep up the honor of your relatives, your parents, your school teachers, everyone. You would have to behave yourself to that level. You study well. Studies alone do not make an individual's life. You would have to develop into a human being, a good human being, a full human being. And please remember, faculty members here will take care of your studies. They will also take care of your wholesome behavior. And as rightly pointed out by the chairman, do not think that if by chance you had come from humble beginnings, do not think that would be a deterrent. Never, never, never. I studied in a school which did not have even benches in the classroom. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I studied in what was those days called a board high school. And a board high school invariably had benches which were, along the floor, like along the mud. And I still remember on rainy days, the kind of atmosphere we had, or the kind of hobby that we all our classmates all together, the kind of hobby that we pursued on rainy days, dig canals into the classroom so that water will flow into the classrooms and we can get out. This is what we did. I'm not ashamed to say that I studied in a very, very small school. I'm happy. But I'll tell you what happened when I entered into the medical college, the Madras Medical College. First few days, I was a little worried talking to everybody. My parents were doctors. Nevertheless, I studied in a very ordinary school. And having heard so much about a medical college from my parents, when I went into the medical college, I was a little scared. There would be all those big, big school-bred people here. So if I talk to them, I may not be correct. I might make a mistake. My grammar might be wrong. And they would mock at me. This is what I felt for the first few days. Then slowly I understood they were neither better than me, nor were I poorer than them. I'm trying to tell you, whatever is your background until now, if you have the mind to grow, you can definitely grow. You can definitely grow if only you think of it. Those of you who can understand Tamil, please remember there is a proverb which we all say very often, Manamirunda, Margam irukku. If you have the mind, you will always be able to find the path. If you have the will, you will definitely have the power to achieve the will. Have you heard of the name of Panini? Has anybody heard? Panini? Have you heard Tolkappiyam? Yes? What is Tolkappiyam? That's not related to engineering. As Tolkappiyam is a grammar for Tamil language, there is a grammar for Sanskrit. And the person who compiled the Sanskrit grammar is called Panini, and the entire grammar itself is called Paniniyam. Now, I'm not going to tell you anything about grammar. I do not know anything about grammar. Believe me, I never studied the languages formally. But then there is a very interesting anecdote in the life of Panini. When Panini was a small little boy, he was in the Gurukulam. You know, there was a kind of system called Gurukulam those days. He was in a Gurukulam. And he was one of the most idiotic students of that Gurukulam. A fellow who will never understand anything, a fellow who could not master anything. Whatever the Guru taught, this boy will never understand. So one day, the Guru got really fed up. He said, he called this boy, "Na enna solli koduthalum unakku puriyada." He was so irritated. And it was those days, you know, eons ago. So he pulled the boy's hand, and we have a belief that there are lines here on the palm. You know, something to do with palmistry. All of you would have known that. So he pulled the boy's hand, looked at the palm and said, "Unakku vidya rekhaye illada, nee enna pannuve, ivvalodhaan padippe." You know, there is something called a vidya rekha, or a line which decides your education. There is supposed to be one. Don't ask me where it is. I do not know. There is supposed to be one. I do not know if all of us have it. That's a different question. And this boy got worried because he has no Vidya Rekha. So he knew without a Vidya Rekha, he will not be able to study. So he was so dejected. The next day, when the Guru was trying to find out where this boy was, the boy had disappeared. And the Guru asked the other boys, "Where is Panini?" The other boys said, "We do not know. Yesterday you scolded him, and then he was crying for a long time. We could not find him. We do not know where he has gone. Maybe he has gone and sat aloof. Maybe he is still crying somewhere." The Guru got a little worried because it was about one day's time. By the time he scolded, the boy was crying. From then to now, it is almost about 24 hours. The Guru was a little worried. He wanted to know what happened to the boy. He himself was feeling bad. Why did I scold him like that? So the Guru was trying to find out where the boy was. He could not. He immediately went out searching for the boy. It was all those forest areas. So he went searching for the boy. And by the evening, he found the boy sitting in one corner near a small rivulet. There was a small river, and the boy was sitting on the banks of the river and looking at his hands. The Guru sighted him from a distance. Oh, he was so happy. The boy is safe. And the Guru cursed himself. Why did I scold him like this? I could have taught him better. So he went near the boy. As he went near the boy did not notice the Guru coming. The boy was sitting there. And as the Guru neared the boy, the Guru found something different. He suddenly found some, blotches of blood. And what has happened? He went near the boy, pulled the boy, and looked at the boy's hands. You know what the boy had done? What did the Guru tell him? You don't have a Vidya Rekha. So the boy just kept looking at his hand, the palms, and then he decided, let me make a Vidya Rekha on my palm. So he picked up some sharp instrument there, something which was lying, maybe a sharp stone or something, and where there should be a Vidya Rekha, he made out a mark and started bleeding, and he was sitting there looking at it. Looking at this, the Guru decided, I will see to that this boy flourishes in his knowledge. And what happened afterwards is history. Today, we all know the entire world salutes Panini for his work on grammar. Now tell me, it is not the Vidya Rekha that matters. It is not from where we come that matters, but it is the kind of efforts that we put. It is the kind of knowledge that we imbibe from the faculty that makes one person big or small. Can we all learn a lesson from Panini's life? Can we all learn a lesson that we would utilize the opportunities, the facilities which are available here and make our name go up in flying colors? Can we all do that? Yes? Good. Now, friends, let me wind up by placing a few requests to you. One request is that please communicate to your colleagues, to your seniors, to your faculty members in pleasing terms, in good terms. This is only an extension of the promise that the chairman took from you. I'm just expanding on that promise. The promise that he took was, every morning you will say good morning, isn't it? I am only expanding on that. I'm saying, have good words spoken with your colleagues. Just remember, if somebody says a good word to us, how happy we feel, isn't it? When I go out for some work, when I start, if you come in front of me and just tell me, all the best, you will do well, what will I say? The all the best that you told me made me do this. You know, it is just a small gesture, a small thank you, a small good morning, a small hi, a small smile. Communicate well with your colleagues, communicate well with your faculty members. You will find your life expands. Second request, utilize the expertise and the experience of all people available here. I tell this because of yet another scientist who emphasized on this kind of learning from experience. You all have heard of Isaac Newton? Can somebody tell me about Isaac Newton? Who would volunteer to tell something about Isaac Newton? Let me see if there is a volunteer. One line on Isaac Newton, someone. Theriyada? Isaac Newton யாருனே தெரியாதா? அந்த பக்கம் எல்லாரும் எழுந்திருக்கிறாங்க. இந்த பக்கம் இன்னும் ஒருத்தர் கூட ரெடி ஆகல. Oh, there, good, congratulations, good, that's good. You want to say something about Isaac Newton? He was? Okay, then? Good. Congratulations. What's your name? Good, thank you. Now, whatever he said about Isaac Newton, you all know all those facets. I told you I am no master of physics, chemistry, and all those things. So I do not know much. One easy thing about questioning is you can always question, you don't have to know the answer. So I cannot vouch for the answer. But then, there is yet another aspect of Isaac Newton which I would want to remind you. When someone asked Isaac Newton as to how he became so great, you know what answer he gave? You know, it's customary for people to go and ask, like, you know, there are press people here. Press people always ask a celebrity or an achiever, how did you get all this? How did you achieve all this? Isn't it? Similarly, someone asked Isaac Newton the same question. You know what Newton said? I stood on the shoulders of people before me. I stood on the shoulders of my elders. and viewed the world. When you were small little children, you might have the experience of climbing onto the shoulders of your fathers and mothers. You may remember, you may not remember, but the moment a child is placed here, the child is next to me. Let's imagine a child is standing here. The child would say, "Enakku onnume theriyilla," because the child is so short. But the moment I place the child here, you know what the child will react? "Na onna vida vasaramaiten." Appa na onna vida vasaram. What does it mean? You grow taller when you assimilate the expertise and experience from people before you. And that is why so many faculty members are here. I heard 640 faculty members or something like that. And I was also stunned, when you all applauded, when somebody said 40 years of experience, you all applauded more. For 30 years, you applauded more. That shows you learn from that experience. You learn from that expertise. Utilize the experience of people before you. My third request is a vital request. Please take pride in being a citizen of this great country of India. Normally, when you were small, your parents, your teachers, everyone would have said, "You should not be proud for anything." Now here I'm changing that. Don't be proud for other things, but please be proud to have been born in this land, in this great country of ours, and feel proud every time you think you're a citizen of India. Dr. Vijay Kumar was talking about the brain being a supercomputer. I think I'll not be wrong if I narrate the power of this supercomputer with an incident which happened years ago, maybe 5,000, 10,000 years ago. I hope some of you would have heard this anecdote. There was a king by name Sirisha, somewhere in the Deccan Plateau region, what we call as Deccan Plateau today. He was a king in that region. He was reigning a large piece of country, large piece of land. And he had a mantri, he had a minister. The minister was a man of letters, and over the course of time, he kind of invented a game, a sport. This sport he took to the king and told the king, "My dear king, I have invented this sport. I would be happy if you popularize this and if you make people know about this sport." A very intelligent sport. The king got impressed. Can you guess what the sport would be? Can you guess? A very intelligent sport. And a very small one. Once again, it's the faculty members who are answering. Chess, yes. Shatrang. He called it Shatrang, or as we call it, Chaturangam. And Shatrang he took to the king and said, "Please popularize this." The king promised that he'll popularize, but at the same time, he felt, "I'm the king, so I should reward this man with a gift." So he called the mantri and told the mantri, "Whatever you want, you ask me, I'll give you. Whatever you want, I'll give you, because I have everything." And the mantri said, "I don't want any reward. All the reward that I would want is make this popular so that people play more, so that their brains are triggered more and more." But then the king would not leave. The king said, "Nothing doing. I want to give you a gift, so I would definitely give you a gift, but then ask me for the gift." Just see, the mantri was a very intelligent man. Without being intelligent, he could not have invented Shatrang, isn't it? So what he did was, "Okay, tomorrow I'll ask you for the gift, but whatever I ask and the way I asked, you need to give me. The king said, fine, what are you going to ask for? You're a humble man. Like, you will ask for something, I'll give you. I have everything on earth. So the next morning, the mantri came and told the king, now please open that board of Shatrang. The king dutifully opened the board, and the mantri asked him a question, how many squares are there? What joke is this? 64 squares. You think I've not seen the board when you gave me last evening? The mantri said, fine, you asked me to name some gift. I'll now ask for the gift. I want grains of paddy. Paddy grains. You know what paddy grains are, right? Grains of paddy. But I want it in this way that for every square on the board, start from square number 1, I want it in such proportions, I'm not filling the blank, you fill it. I want it in such proportions that the first square will have 1 grain, the second square will have 2 grains, the third square will have 4 grains, fourth 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and so on. But then the condition was, don't just pick up a handful of grains and place it there. I want someone to count the number of grains in serial order, not in parallel, not 2-3 groups sit here, one group count here, one group count here. No. I want someone to count it in serial order and place it there in 64 heaps. Please do that. The king thought, that is all. You just want grains of paddy kept in 64 heaps? It is so simple. So he called people, bring bags and bags of paddy grains. Come on, start. He wants it in serial order. Come on, 2 people start. They started. My question now is, did they finish? Now this is a very simple question. If a question has an answer like yes or no, there are only 2 choices. 50% of the crowd will say yes and 50% will say no, and then the answer is out in the open. I will now reverse the question. How much time would it have taken for the king to gift all those grains of paddy to that mantri? You understand my question? I'm no mathematician. Please remember, all my mathematics, formal study of mathematics stopped when I was in my 12th standard. Gone with that. Fortunately, medical colleges don't ask for mathematics. Otherwise, I would have been doomed. How much time would it have taken for the king to gift the mantri? Can we do a small calculation? Can we? Yes or no? Can we do a small calculation? Yes. Let's say it takes 1 second, not go there and bring the grain and all that. Let me say they're making it so fast, 1 second to pick up 1 paddy grain and keep. Okay? So square 1, 1. Square 2, 2. Square 3, 4, 8, 16. All that 1 second for the paddy grain to be kept there. So for the first row of 8 squares, how many seconds would it have taken? 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32 plus 64 plus 128. 255 paddy grains and 255 seconds. Okay? 255 seconds will mean how much time? 255 seconds will mean how much time in minutes, in terms of minutes? 4 and 1/4. Fine. Now I've given you part of the answer. I've given you 1/8 of the answer. There are only 8 rows, isn't it? First row, it was 4.25 nimisham, 4 and 1/4 minute. So please tell me how much would it have taken for the second row? First row was over in 4 and 1/4 minute. Second row, how much would it have taken? Start, square 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. How much time would it have taken? We'll go step by step. Now somebody is trying to calculate. Good. I can see people calculating. How much time? Guesswork. Somebody guess. For the second row, how much time would it have taken? If first row was 4 minutes and 15 seconds, how much time would it have been for the second row? Now faculty members have just kept quiet. Yes, guess. Come on, yeah, this is not an examination and I'm not going to give you negative marks for giving me a wrong answer even. Come on, start speaking. Second row, someone. Someone, all of them are meddling their cell phones to get the answer. No, nobody is going to guess. No, I'll ask the faculty members to guess. Second row, yeah, somebody is nodding very heavily when I ask them if I can ask the faculty members to guess. Good children. What will be the second row's time? There can be only two things now. Either you know the answer or you don't know the answer. You know the answer, you're testing me, you're just keeping quiet. No guesswork. Yes? Yes, what would have been the time for the second row? Modal row, 4.25 நிமிஷம். ரெண்டாவது ரோக்கு எவ்வளவுமா டைம் எடுத்திருக்கோம்? Guess பண்ணுங்களேன். 40 minutes. 140 minutes. 4 hours. Yes? 18 hours. Close to 19 hours. Good. It was close to 19 hours. First row, 4.25 நிமிஷம். ரெண்டாவது row, 18 மணி நேரம். ஒரு நாள் போச்சு 18 மணி நேரம் நான் காலையில் சாப்பிட்டு மத்தியானம் சாப்பிட்டு கையை காலை நீட்டி முடிஞ்சு போச்சு ஒரு நாள் போச்சு மூணாவது ரோ ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க மூணாவது ரோ பாதி போனோடனே அந்த கிங் கையெடுத்து கும்பிட்டார் அந்த மந்திரியை அப்பா விட்டுடு நான் ஆட்டத்துக்கே வரல நான் தப்பு தான் பண்ணிட்டேன் இன்சிஸ்ட் பண்ணது தப்பு நீங்கள் கால்குலேட் பண்ணி பார்த்தா தேர்ட் ரோக்கு எவ்வளோ டைம் எடுத்திருக்கும் செகண்ட் ரோக்கு எவ்வளோ டைம் எடுத்தது 19 hours 19 ஹவர்ஸுங்கிறது கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு நாள்னு வச்சுக்கலாமா 19 ஹவர்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறம் மிச்சம் இருக்கிற 5 மணி நேரம் தூங்குறதுக்கு வேண்டாம் இல்லை ஸோ 24 ஹவர்ஸுங்கிறத வச்சா ஒரு நாள் ஆயிடுச்சு தேர்ட் ரோ would have taken about anyone can guess it would have been about 70 days 68 days or so 70 days இந்த ரேட்டில் கால்குலேட் பண்ணிங்கன்னா 8 ரோ முடிக்கவே முடியாது நான் இப்போ கால்குலேட் பண்ணலை நீங்கள் வீட்டில் போய் கால்குலேட் பண்ணி பாருங்கள் எவ்வளோ நேரம் ஆகும்னு 8வது ரோ மட்டும் பண்ணுறதுக்கு எவ்வளோ ஆகும் தெரியுமா 8வது ரோ 4வது ரோ would have taken about 128 years 5வது ரோ 30,000 years இந்த ரேட்டில் போனால் 8வது ரோக்கு எவ்வளோ ஆகும் தெரியுமா 8th ரோ alone கணக்கு பண்ணிங்கன்னா எவ்வளோ ஆகும் தெரியுமா anyone can guess 53 lakh years 53 lakh years. I'm just rounding it. I'm not giving you all the small details. The easiest way to calculate is into 256. Whatever you get for the first row into 256 will be second, into 256 will be third. You know the exponential proportions, 2 to the power of 8. You know all that. I told you I'm no mathematician. I will not talk more about mathematics here. There are lots of people who know experts in mathematics. But the easiest way to calculate that is, it is 2 to the power of 8 into 256 போட்டிங்கன்னா கணக்கு கிடைக்கும். Humankind came into existence on earth in the last 15 million years. அவ்வளோதான் 15 million years. ஆனால் இங்கே 5 million lakh years ஆகும் 8வது ரோ மட்டும் அந்த மாதிரி எடுத்து கொடுக்கணும்னா. That is why when the king realized, அப்பா என்னை விட்டுடுன்னாரு, I am telling you this to tell you the importance of one structure which is sitting here. One structure which is sitting here, which is a super computer. The Mantri calculated this. But then, it is not enough if you just know the theoretical calculations. To be an expert on chess, you need to know how to play the game, the skill that is required. This is a campus where you have this plus the practice, the theory plus the practice. There are a few professions, few careers on earth which require both theory and practice. Medicine is one where we need theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge. It is not enough if I just know theory of medicine, but then I have to have proper practical application. Similarly, engineering is yet another sphere of activity where your practice hones your theoretical knowledge. You may be very good in theory, but your skill will hone your theoretical knowledge and application. So my last request to you is that please put all your knowledge into practice. Apply your knowledge. Whatever you know, apply in life. Apply that wherever it is required. And then I'm sure we don't have to be speaking about Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton in the forthcoming years. We would only be quoting people from here in the next generations to come. I wish all of you all the success. I'm so happy to have been part of your investiture this morning. And along with your parents, I join in wishing you all a very wonderful time to be spent here in this institution. I reiterate my request, when you pass out of this great Bannari Institute of Technology, you should be one who would keep up the honors of not only this institution, but the honors of all those people who had been associated with you. All the best, best wishes, congratulations once again, and thank you very much.